please.
थैंक यू वेरी मच मिस्टर डेप्यूटी स्पीकर. मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि के 11 सदस्यों ने राजीव गौड़ा जी, शिव प्रताप शुक्ला जी, विश्वम्बर प्रसाद जी, एन गोपाल, नदीमुल हक, सीपी नारायणन, दिलीप कुमार तिखरी, राजा राम, डी राजा, Vijay Sai Reddy, Jairam Ramesh ji, Kore ji, and lastly, you also made very important point, and from there only I'll start. Let me reaffirm again that IITs will be really center of excellence, and they will remain to be center of excellence, and will not allow anything that will lower its standards. Actually, we all should try to improve it further and make it really world-class institutes. And therefore, the quality is absolutely important. As far as Jairam Ramesh's suggestion, as you rightly observed, that MHRD even is not represented on the Board of Governors. It's completely run by Board of Governors. We only facilitate and finance. And that is where we will concentrate. And therefore, but people have raised very relevant issues. Faculties, schedule caste, the dropout, and many other important issues. And they are important. And so therefore I'll address, and I'll come to the main theme also. Let me tell you that there will be no budget restrictions to the growth of IITs, and therefore IITs will not remain unfunded. And as I yesterday mentioned, we are already working out on a scheme for financing higher educational infrastructure needs, and in that, particularly research infrastructure needs. So 20,000 crore rupees will be leveraged through government's own contribution of nearly 1,000 crore, which is promised in this budget, and 1,000 to be coming in from the partner who will partner is nationalized banks or something. So they will be also putting in money, and we will leverage this high and through internal accruals, because let me tell you very happily that our internal accruals by the IITs are growing, and they should continue to grow further. So we will repay it through the internal accruals, but this finance will be made available for within next 3 years. There will be no deficit of infrastructure anywhere, and particularly research infrastructure. So that is the basic initiative which will come through Higher Education Finance Agency initiative. So that will come. Okay. The important issue is faculty, and that will always be an important issue, because only faculties can change. Today, we have nearly 30% vacancies, and much of the faculties who are working are on contract, as rightly said. So we have to take more proactive measures. We are already started interviews on, it's a continuous process, not only by advertisements, but by continuous process. So anybody can apply, anybody can be interviewed, even video interviews and many other things we want to start. And there are world interviews also, because talented people who are in different countries studying, they are globally interviewed at certain places in each discipline. There are annual interview. Why we don't participate? I am happy Jain Sinha was here. RBI participates now to fetch good young talent of the world to come here and work here. And particularly our own Indian students who are working there, all good results they have got, and they should come back and serve here. And therefore, we will approach every possible way. And I'll also seek suggestion from Rajiv Gowda and all others who are in the field. So they can give us suggestions, and we want to fill up the vacancies as soon as possible in a continuous process, because this is one important aspect. Without that, we can't really impart and maintain that ratio of 1:10. And therefore, that is our priority. Freedom of Raja and many others said that we need to have freedom on campuses. Yes, I am product of student movement. We fought for different opinion, and even we fought against when the all freedom were clamped during the emergency period, and we had satyagraha on our college campuses, and we were jailed. But, so therefore I accept. I may not agree with your view, but you have every right to put across your view. That's the essence of democracy. And that will always be available for all the students. So one should not
That's
fear
what
about
Voltaire has said.
Yeah,
I disagree with you, but I will fight for your freedom
absolutely.
to say what you want to say.
And that is the concept of democracy. So
That is democracy. There are Ramesh may not agree with me.
we will definitely ensure that freedom, and everybody knows that as a responsible citizens of the country, we also work within the constitutional framework, and we abide by the laws of the land. And that's the only two things which we have to keep in mind. But expression of freedom is not curbed, and we have no intention to doing so anytime. As far as reservation is concerned, I have reviewed immediately, and we will ensure that reservation is implemented in letter and spirit. And I am happy to say that students' enrollment is nearly complete in all the reserved categories. And that's a very good news for students. But there is a case of backlog or dropout. It's not related to reserved categories or unreserved categories. There are students who have some kind of backlog, who needs special, I call them special potential students. And those special potential students can be nurtured, as he suggested rightly. In Kerala they carry out coaching classes. So one is remediation, one is mentoring by senior students also. When we talk of students, it's not always ragging what happens. It's a minuscule minority which is indulged into those activities. But many students are very good students, and they really like to mentor, and if peer learning is the best learning. And therefore, we want to experiment more and more good things to ensure that nobody gets dropped out when he has basically passed the basic JEE and JEE advanced. So after that, nobody should be dropped out, because it will be waste of money and his depression. Why we should bring in depression to the students? So that we will ensure. Many people raised about fees. I have yesterday explained, again I will explain in 1 minute. See, on each IIT student, we are incurring expenditure of 6 lakh rupees per year per student. Somebody has to pay. Now, as a social justice, as a democratic institution, we have to decide who will pay how much. And that's what exactly we have brought reform in a way. First, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe students have to pay nothing, not a single paisa while admission. No money to be paid. So, there is no case of reimbursement, because they don't pay and they are admitted. So, that is guaranteed. Then, those Divyangas, there's a terminology which has been brought up and appreciated, brought up by Prime Minister and appreciated by the world, because they are the special ability students who also are exempted from fee. Parents whose income is below 1 lakh rupees, they are also get complete fee waiver, so they have to pay nothing. Under the 5 lakh rupees limit, the parents whose income is 5 lakh rupees, the students' fees, which was 90,000 earlier, has been reduced to 60,000. Because there is 2/3 fee waiver, so they are paying only 60,000. So it is actually reduced for all the students whose annual income is less than 5 lakh rupees. Up to 9 lakh rupees, the income of the family, the students will get interest-free loan. That means it's a fee by installment. It is because they are not paying from their pocket immediately, but they are paying through installments, and they are paying without interest. So that's a main important concession granted. So, for whom fee has increased? For those families whose income is more than 9 lakh rupees. Yes, fee has increased. So what is against the common student? It is the social justice what we are practicing. And therefore, I hope that we'll appreciate the move. Resources, and as I said, is important issue, and alumni contribution, research earning has to grow. And I'll come to that last and then I'll end my innovations has to happen. And timely PhDs and many other things which many members have raised, I have noted every point and therefore will address all genuine points. The main theme is, and Gowdaji started with that, is our IITs must become center of research and innovation. And that's the real thing. That's the real challenge. And we have already started on many scholarships, fellowships to bring young talents, because why people are going away outside the country? Because they get more research funds, they got more fellowships, research scholarships, and they get all other assistance. We want to give that. And therefore, one initiative is CSIR scheme to attract scientists, technologies of India. STIO is a new initiative which is there. Then there are other fellowship programs like J.C. Bose Fellowship, Swarna Jayanti Fellowship, Young Scientist Project Award, Women Scientist Scheme, National Women Bioscientist Award, and there are many others, Swarup Bhatnagar Prize. And so, through various schemes, we want to attract back. When Prime Minister says, make in India, actually he means that he is appealing to the young, talented students who are studying abroad and are working there to come back to India. Come, innovate, others, and he is appealing to NRIs and others also to invest in such ideas. So come, innovate, invest, make in India, and sell with pride as made in India. That's the whole concept of make in India. So there we want to bring back all our good talented people to do more research. And I was chairman of working group on IT for masses in the year 2000 for Government of India. And we went to MIT and negotiated MIT Media Lab Asia project. That time when I came back, Atalji was Prime Minister, so he asked me what we are importing. And I told him, that was my spontaneous answer, that we are importing the research culture, the research environment, the research freedom. And that is what is need of our. And that is what we want to guarantee and inculcate in all our IITs. So they become the big thing. And Prime Minister has taken the right lead. We are now launching one imprint program. What is the program? That in 10 essential sectors, which is requirement of India, the research project proposals were asked from the youngsters and researchers. They submitted 2,000 proposals, research proposals. They were scrutinized and more than 450 projects are approved, and we are investing 1,000 crore rupees in imprint scheme. So nearly from 1 crore rupees to 5 crore rupees per project will be given by the government, because that is where we will have innovation and research. I am happy to report that IITs today and our all national research institutes, these training institutes, have filed more than 700 patents and have got secured more than 150 patents. So that's one thing. GYAN is a new initiative. As rightly said by Narayanan, it's a cosmopolitan atmosphere which is very important. That atmosphere needs to be there. So foreign students we must attract. My own son did degree in Boston University, 17 students in PhD from 12 nationalities. So that's a learning by itself. And therefore, this kind of interaction, growing interaction of faculties also. And under GYAN scheme, foreign faculties are coming and taking one course of 4 weeks to 6 weeks in India, and more than 240 courses have been conducted in last 2 years, and more than 640 projects are already sanctioned. So they will come in next 2 years and they will conduct. That's a great interaction among the faculties also of various nationalities. And many Indians abroad who are teaching, very successful professors, are also coming. That's a good thing. The third initiative is Uchchatar Avishkar Yojana, which was mentioned by some members. And Tirupati will be a full-fledged IIT. It will not be a sub-center of IIT. So it will have everything what is done for all other IIT. So Uchchatar Avishkar Yojana is the industry-specific research requirement. Industries are telling, and they have already contributed 136 crore for this project. So they are giving their contribution. Faculty and students jointly will form teams and work on those ideas and bring out the innovation which is required for that. So we are investing heavily into that. We are also encouraging startups. So we are giving facilities, finance and escort, and more than 44 startups have already started working from IIT campuses. They can work, they can give officially their address for their startup venture from of their hostel room. Everything is being facilitated. And incubation centers for jointly working, joint research, many people said. And there is Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. This is very important initiative. Because in Unnat Bharat, the IITs should not become an island of excellence. They must be part of the whole Indian story. And therefore, every IIT will go to 5 or 10 villages. The students will be interacting in going to villages constantly, see the problems and ensure how to solve it. That's the challenge. India requires this kind of interaction. And we don't want to restrict it to only IITs, but we want to take it further to all central universities, all colleges, all good institutes, so they become Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. More than 1 lakh villages in the near future can be brought under this kind of collaborative effort. So that can be also done. And therefore, last but not least, we are already working on an idea of world-class institutes, at least 20 institutes, 10 in private sector, 10 in government sector. This will be, as you said, Mukta. It will be, and these IITs are already Mukta, autonomous in real way, academic autonomy completely. And that is what we want to give, because we have an ISB in Hyderabad, started under an initiative, in a private initiative, but became a world recognized institute. So we will have to go that way, and therefore this is an effort in that direction to bring in quality, innovation, and that's the requirement.
Thank you.
I put before the House.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
I thank everybody for this.
Yeah.